6 words, written by a dead man, and they destroyed my family. I was 14 years old, sitting on a cold marble floor in one of the biggest airports in the world, alone. No passport, no money, no phone. And somewhere above me, my mother and my brother were on a plane to Thailand, without me. But before we get to the airport, you need to understand something first. I had been invisible my entire life. My name is Maya Calloway. I am 32 now. I run a bookkeeping and financial consulting practice for small business owners. Numbers always made sense to me. People, not so much. At 14, I was the background character of my own family. I could sit at the dinner table and no one noticed me. My mother, Diane, worked double shifts as a hospital records manager. She had done that since my father passed. I was 6 years old. Dad's death hit Connor the hardest, or at least that's what my mother always believed. Connor was 9 when we lost Dad. From that moment on, he became everything to her. Star athlete, perfect grades, the smile that made teachers forget he hadn't turned in his homework. Connor could do no wrong. I mean that literally. In all my years growing up, I never once saw my mother question him. If something broke, I did it. If money went missing, I must have taken it. I learned early that fighting back was pointless. So I became the quiet one, the easy one. Never complained, never made waves. I thought if I stayed small enough, eventually she would see me. She never did. My grandmother, Ruth, my father's mother, lived 2 hours south of us. She was the only person who noticed I was alive. She mailed me books, called me on my birthday when Mom forgot, told me stories about Dad when he was young. The summer I turned 14, something changed. I got accepted into a competitive arts program, full scholarship. For a brief moment, the spotlight landed on me. Connor hated it. And that's when things started to change. He didn't say it directly, but I could feel his resentment like a cold draft in every room. Art programs are a waste. She'll embarrass the family. The scholarship was probably a mistake. My mother didn't defend me. She changed the subject. About a week before our vacation, I came home early. I heard Connor's voice through his cracked door. He was on the phone. The accounts. She can't find out. Once I'm 18, it's all settled. I stepped on a creaky board. He came rushing out, face red. Were you spying on me? I just got home. He pushed past me. Stay out of my business. I mean it. I stood there, confused. What accounts? What was he talking about? I didn't understand it. I should have. A few days later, we left for Thailand. Mom had won the trip through a hospital raffle. 2 weeks. Beaches, temples. The route took us from Nashville to Dubai for a layover, then on to Bangkok. I packed 1 small bag. Connor brought 3. I had learned long ago not to take up too much space in this family, even with luggage. You need to know what happened next. I had no idea that one moment in that airport would bring down everything Connor had spent years secretly building. And I had no idea that my father had seen all of it coming, long before any of us. The flight to Dubai was long. I had a window seat. Connor and Mom sat together a few rows ahead. Every now and then I'd hear them laughing. That feeling again, being left out. I pushed it down like I always did. When we landed in Dubai, I was exhausted, but amazed. That airport was something else. Marble floors like mirrors, gold shops and designer stores gleaming like a dream. I walked around with my mouth half open. a kid from Nashville in a royal palace. Connor suggested we split up during the layover. He'd take Mom to the shopping area. I could check out the bookstore. I was actually happy about that. Quiet time was rare. Before I left, Connor offered to hold my backpack. "You don't want to lug that everywhere. I'll keep it safe." My passport was in that backpack. My boarding pass. $40 my grandmother had pressed into my hand before the trip. I handed it to him without thinking. Why wouldn't I trust my brother? I wish I could go back to that moment. Grab that girl by the shoulders. Hold on to your bag like your life depends on it. Because it did. I spent 20 minutes in the bookstore, wandered back to our meeting spot. Connor and Mom were gone. I waited. 30 minutes. 45. The sick feeling started. I found an information desk and asked about our flight. The woman typed something, then looked at me with concern. "That flight has already boarded, dear. It's taxiing now." "No, my family is on that flight. I'm supposed to be on that flight." She checked again. Diane Calloway, boarded. Connor Calloway, boarded. Maya Calloway? No show. My heart stopped. I asked her to repeat it 3 times. They left me. My mother and my brother got on that plane and flew to Thailand without me. No passport. Connor had taken it. No money. Same bag. No phone. Mom had taken it before the trip. I didn't even know her number by heart. An airline employee tried calling her. Straight to voicemail. Airplane mode. Like a responsible passenger. Security kept asking questions. I had no answers, just tears and the growing understanding that I was completely alone, halfway around the world, in the largest airport I had ever seen. They brought me to a small security office. A kind woman gave me water and tissues. I sat there. My mind kept circling the same question. Why would Connor do this? And then his voice came back to me. The accounts. She can't find out. Once I turn 18. Connor was turning 18 in 3 months. I was starting to feel the shape of something. Dark, cold, and very deliberately planned. Security released me back into the terminal while they contacted the embassy. I found a corner near a cafe, slid down against the cold wall. The tears came then, hot and fast. I watched families walk past, kids holding their parents' hands. A little girl dropped her stuffed elephant. Her father scooped it up, kissed the top of her head. Such a small thing, such a normal thing. I couldn't remember the last time my mother had touched me like that. I pressed my back against the wall and tried to disappear. I had spent my whole life trying to be invisible in my family. Now I just wanted someone to see me. And then a shadow fell over me. I looked up. A tall man in a white robe stood there, not with judgment, not with pity, with something I had not seen from an adult in a long time. Genuine concern. What he said next changed the entire direction of my life. He looked like someone important. Mid-50s, tall, white robe, neatly trimmed gray beard, calm, steady, dark eyes. He was not looking at me like I was a problem. He was looking at me like I was a person. "Young lady," he said, clear, careful, accented, "you look like someone who needs help." Every alarm in my body fired at once. Stranger, foreign country, alone. But my mother had just left me in an airport. Her advice was not feeling reliable. He sat down on a nearby bench, not too close, not too far, like he understood I was scared. "My name is Kareem Al-Masri. I am the director of guest services here." He paused. "I noticed you from across the terminal. You reminded me of someone." "Who?" My daughter, he said quietly. She passed away 5 years ago. She was 15. Something shifted in the air between us. She had the same expression you have right now, like she was trying very hard to be invisible and hoping no one would notice her pain. I didn't know what to say. I'm sorry, I whispered. He inclined his head. Her name was Yasmin. She had a heart condition since birth. Knowing does not make losing her easier. He looked at me steadily. Now, will you tell me why you were sitting on the floor of my airport crying? Something about the way he said that. My airport. Not possessive, protective. I started talking. I told him everything. Connor, the lie he told Mom, how she believed him instantly. How I was marked as a no-show while my family flew away without me. No passport, no money, no phone. The overheard phone call. The accounts. She can't find out. Kareem listened without interrupting. His expression grew more serious with every detail. But he did not look shocked. He looked like a man who recognized the shape of what he was hearing. When I finished, he was quiet. What happened to you, he said slowly, is not just cruel, it is potentially criminal. Criminal. Abandoning a minor in an international airport with deliberate theft of identity documents is a serious matter under international law. He nodded. But more importantly, you are a child who needs help. He stood, extended his hand. Come with me. Trust me. He paused. They will regret this. I hesitated. Every alarm was still ringing, but something deeper told me this man was safe. I took his hand. He walked me through corridors I didn't know existed, staff areas, administrative hallways. He knew everyone. Everyone stepped aside. We ended up in a quiet office, soft lighting, comfortable chairs. A woman named Nadia sat with me while Kareem made calls in the next room. You are safe now, she said. She handed me a warm plate of food, rice, chicken, bread still warm from the kitchen. Whatever happened, you are safe here. I ate like I hadn't seen food in days. Through the wall, I could hear Kareem on the phone, calm voice, but it carried authority that made the walls feel thin. This is Director Al-Masri. I need security footage from gates 18 through 26 immediately. We have a minor who was deliberately abandoned. Her documents were stolen by a family member. I stopped chewing. Deliberately abandoned. Hearing someone else say it made it real. An hour later, I saw the proof. The security team had pulled the footage. They found the exact moment. Connor unzipping my backpack while I walked toward the bathroom, reaching inside, removing my passport, removing my boarding pass. With a small, deliberate smile, he tucked them into his bag, zipped it up, walked away, like nothing happened. Then the footage from the gate, Connor whispering to my mother, her face twisting. She nodded, turned toward the jet bridge, did not look back, not once. And just before Connor disappeared through the door, he glanced back toward the terminal. He was smiling, while ruining my life. This is very clear evidence, Kareem said. Your brother stole your travel documents. Your mother did not verify his story. He paused. Your brother was concerned about money. Do you know anything about your father's estate? I shook my head. Mom never talked about it. She said Dad left enough for us to be comfortable. I assumed that meant the house. Kareem was quiet. Sometimes siblings do terrible things to protect what they believe belongs only to them. Sometimes parents leave behind more than furniture, and sometimes those secrets become weapons. I thought about Connor's phone call. She can't find out. Once I'm 18. My brother is turning 18 in 3 months, I said slowly. He was talking about accounts, something he could access when he turned 18. Kareem nodded. When you return home, look into your father's documents. Find out what he left behind, and for whom. He leaned forward. People reveal their true character when they believe no one is watching. Your brother has revealed his. He paused. Now, young lady, let's talk about justice. Kareem's phone rang. He answered, then turned to me. The flight to Bangkok has landed. Your mother and brother are about to be met by police.
What happened next made international news.
KGM's network moved fast. Within 30 minutes, multiple agencies were involved. Dubai Airport Authority, U.S. Embassy, Thai police, all coordinating, all moving. An embassy official named Miss Hartley called me directly. Abandoning a minor in a foreign country is a serious international incident. Your mother may face investigation in both Dubai and Thailand. Your brother's actions will be examined very carefully. I sat very still. Investigations. International incident. These were words from news programs, not from my actual life. The evidence is clear. Security footage shows your brother deliberately removing your documents. She paused. The question now is how you want to proceed. Part of me still wanted to protect my mother. 17 years of conditioning doesn't disappear in an afternoon. Maybe she didn't know. Maybe Connor tricked her completely. But then I remembered the footage, the way she didn't hesitate, the way she didn't look back. And I remembered every year before this moment, every time she believed Connor over me, every time I tried to tell her something was wrong. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was the shape of my entire childhood. The anger inside me was growing, not hot and wild, cold, steady, the kind that doesn't burn out. While I waited, they found something else. When Thai authorities detained Connor and my mother, they confiscated Connor's phone, standard procedure. And what they found was exactly what Kareem had suspected. Texts to his girlfriend, 3 weeks before the trip. This wasn't impulse. He had been planning it for a month. One message read, "The trip is perfect. I'll separate her in Dubai and Mom will have to choose. She always chooses me." Another said, "Once Maya's out of the picture, I can talk to Mom about the money. She trusts me completely." And 2 days before we left Nashville, "Once I turn 18, that account is mine. Maya doesn't even know it exists. And if she causes trouble in Dubai, she won't have any standing to claim her share." Problem solved. I felt like the ground had opened. Connor wasn't just cruel, he was calculated. He had looked at his own sister and seen an obstacle to remove. Miss Hartley explained what Connor had been protecting. My father had set up a protected account for both of his children, $600,000 split equally. Connor's share, $300,000, accessible when he turned 18, 3 months away. My share was structured differently, tied entirely to educational expenses until I turned 25. I couldn't touch the principal, but it would cover college, graduate school, any certification program I wanted, including the bookkeeping and accounting courses that later became the foundation of everything I'd built. It was protected, locked where no one could reach it. Connor had spent months trying to convince my mother to consolidate the funds. His argument, I was irresponsible, I would waste the money, he should control my share. If I caused trouble in Dubai, if I looked unstable and troubled, convincing a court to reassign my inheritance would have been so much easier. My brother had tried to steal my future. He had almost gotten away with it. The screen on the wall came to life. A live feed. Bangkok arrivals gate. Kareem checked his watch. They're deplaning now. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. The first passengers came through. Tired business travelers, families, an elderly couple, arm in arm. And then I saw them. My mother emerged first, adjusting her carry-on, hair neat, clothes unwrinkled, a woman on vacation. Connor followed right behind her, laughing at something on his phone. Actually laughing, not a single thought about the sister he had left 12 hours ago. 2 Thai police officers and the embassy representative approached them calmly. I watched my mother's face shift. Confusion, concern, then fear. Her first instinct was defense.
mouth moving fast. There must be a mistake. She wanted to stay. She was being dramatic. Connor nodded beside her, playing the concerned older brother. The Thai officer produced a tablet, pressed play. I watched my mother watch the security footage. I watched her see her son unzip my backpack while I walked away trusting him. I watched him see her remove my passport with that small, deliberate smile. The color drained from her face, from pink to pale to white. Connor tried to speak, gesturing fast. I can imagine what he was saying. It was just a prank. He was going to fix it later. The officer swiped to the next screen. Connor's text messages. My mother read the words her son had written. I already knew what was there. Once Maya's out of the picture, I can talk to Mom about the money. She doesn't even know it exists. My mother's hand went to her mouth. Her whole body seemed to fold, like someone had cut her strings. Connor's mask fell. I had watched my brother charm his way out of trouble my entire life. Teachers, coaches, neighbors, our mother, everyone fell for his smile, his easy excuses, his arrogant certainty. But you cannot charm a security camera. You cannot smile at your own words and make them disappear. Connor's face went from confident to confused to scared in 30 seconds. The embassy representative held up a tablet, and suddenly I was looking at my mother on a video call. She could see me. I could see her. She looked destroyed, mascara running, eyes swollen, older than I had ever seen her look. Maya, her voice cracked. Baby, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. You didn't check, I said. You didn't come find me. You didn't ask what happened. You just believed him. I know, and I'm so sorry. You always believe him. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't crying. I was just stating facts. My whole life you chose him, every single time. She sobbed harder. Connor stared at the floor. Dad would never have left me, I said quietly. He knew. He always knew what Connor was. That's why he protected my inheritance, because he knew you wouldn't. My mother flinched like I had struck her. I could have said more, but she already knew. She had always known. She had just chosen not to see it. I'm done, I said. I'm done being invisible. I'm done being the one who doesn't matter. The tablet was gently taken back. The call ended. I sat in silence. Kareem said nothing, just sat nearby, a steady presence. The legal consequences came over the next hour. Connor would be detained, escorted back to the U.S., his phone preserved as evidence, his case referred to juvenile authorities in Arizona. Document theft, child endangerment. My mother would face a formal warning. Mandatory family counseling, my inheritance account placed under a court-appointed financial guardian. My share was safe, more than safe, now protected by legal documentation no one could touch. And Connor had built everything on his athletic record: Division I scholarship, starting quarterback, dreams of going pro. That scholarship required a clean record. This incident would follow him. It was documented, internationally coordinated, impossible to deny. Coaches would ask questions. Background checks would find answers. Everything he tried to protect by removing me from the picture was now at risk, and he had done it to himself, with his own words, his own hands, his own arrogant certainty that he would never get caught. Karma, it turns out, has excellent timing. Before I left that office, Kajim said 6 words I have carried ever since. And 2 weeks after I got home, Grandma Ruth sat me down with a box I had never seen. Inside was a letter in my father's handwriting, dated 1 week before he died, written to me. What he wrote, I still cannot read without tears.
Before I left the office, Kareem arranged my return home. The U.S. Embassy issued emergency travel documents. Emirates upgraded me to first class. Flight attendants had been briefed. They treated me like someone worth caring for. It was the strangest feeling I had ever had. Before I walked out, Kareem handed me his business card. Cream-colored, elegant, old-fashioned. "If you ever need anything," he said, "anything at all, this number will always reach me." "Why did you help me? You didn't have to." He was quiet. "Because you reminded me of Yasmin. She was kind like you, quiet like you, overlooked like you." A pause. "She would have wanted me to help someone who needed it." I hugged him. Probably inappropriate. We had known each other only hours. We came from completely different worlds. But in that moment, he felt more like family than anyone I shared blood with. "You are stronger than you know," Kareem said. "Your father was right. You are a hidden treasure. But you will not stay hidden much longer." The first-class flight from Dubai to Phoenix was 18 hours. Warm towels, gourmet meals on real plates, a seat that became a bed with actual sheets, flight attendants who refilled my water without being asked. The most valuable experience of my life, and I did not pay a single cent. There is probably a lesson in there somewhere, but I was too tired to find it. I ate my dinner, watched 3 movies, and slept like someone who had earned it. When I landed in Phoenix, Grandma Ruth was waiting at arrivals. Older than I remembered, but her hug was exactly the same. Strong, warm, lavender and old books. "I've got you," she said. "You're safe now, sweetheart. I've got you." She drove me to her house in Tucson. Not back to my mother's place. That was deliberate. I wasn't ready. My mother had returned from Thailand immediately. Her vacation was over before it started. Legal interviews, counseling appointments, the wreckage of a family she had helped destroy through years of willful blindness. Connor was being processed through the juvenile system. For the first time in my entire life, I did not have to exist in his shadow. The relief was so profound, it made me dizzy. A week later, my mother came to Tucson. She looked like she had aged 10 years, hollow eyes, trembling hands. The polished professional was gone. In her place was a woman who had finally been forced to see the truth. She did not make excuses. She just sat across from me at Grandma Ruth's kitchen table and said, "I failed you. I don't know how to fix it, but I want to try. If you'll let me." I looked at her for a long time. This woman who had chosen Connor over me as long as I can remember, who had gotten on a plane and left me behind, but also this woman who had worked double shifts for years, who had lost her husband young, who was flawed and broken and finally willing to admit it. "I don't know if I can forgive you. Not yet. Maybe not ever." She nodded, tears falling. "But I'm willing to try, if you do the real work. Therapy, honesty, not just saying sorry and expecting everything to reset." "I will," she whispered. "I promise." It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a start. Connor's outcome was simpler: probation until age 21, mandatory counseling, community service, and a permanent notation on his record that ended his Division I scholarship. He ended up living with Grandma Ruth eventually, on the other side of the house, separate from me. Last I heard, he was working as a mechanic's assistant in Tucson. Honest work, humble work, not the life he planned, but maybe exactly what he needed. I don't feel triumph about his downfall. I just feel quiet relief that he can't hurt me anymore. 2 weeks after I got back, Grandma Ruth sat me down at the kitchen table, placed a worn cardboard box in front of me. "I've been keeping these for you, waiting until you were old enough, until it was time." Inside, the trust account paperwork, bank statements, legal documents, and at the very bottom, a letter
My father's handwriting, dated 1 week before he died, written to me. He had seen things. He could not name them exactly, but he had felt them. The way Connor treated me when adults weren't watching, the dynamic forming in our family, the favoritism taking root. So he had structured my inheritance with extra protection, locked it away until I was 25 and fully independent. He even added a separate life insurance policy, designated entirely to me. Not out of favoritism, he wrote, but because he knew Connor would be taken care of. I was the one who needed protecting. The letter ended with words I will never forget. Maya, my hidden treasure, you will face storms in this family, but you are built to weather them. Be patient, be strong, and know that your father loved you more than words can say. I believe in you. Love always, Dad. I read those words 4 times, then I sat quietly. For the first time in years, I thought about my father without the weight of grief. He had seen me. He had always seen me, when no one else did. The total inheritance when I accessed it at 25 was $620,000. I used it wisely, enrolled in a bookkeeping and accounting certification program. Numbers made sense to me when people didn't. I built my practice slowly, carefully, helping small business owners, online sellers, independent shops, people who work hard and just need someone trustworthy to keep their finances straight. I built something real, something entirely my own. I stayed in contact with Kareem. He attended my college graduation, standing in the back row, wiping his eyes. Every year on the anniversary of Dubai, I send him flowers. He sends me books about building something from nothing, about finding strength in dark seasons. My relationship with my mother healed slowly. Clear boundaries, regular therapy, honest conversations that sometimes hurt but always helped. We are not best friends. We probably never will be, but we are real with each other now, and that is more than we ever had before. My father called me my hidden treasure. It took me a long time to understand what he meant, but I understand it now, and I am not hidden anymore.